The best fried chicken in Texas. Rody's Country Fried Chicken. Texas born, Texas raised. A chicken joint with 35 years of service to our community. Thanks to our loyal customers and social media followers. Come try the best gizzards in Texas, the best tenders in Texas, and the best chicken in Texas. Call us at 830-773-9189. 830-773-9189. Don't forget, we have curbside service and delivery by DoorDash. Or find us on Facebook, Rody's Chicken. RODEES Chicken. Like us on Facebook.
The best fried chicken in Texas.
Rody's Country Fried Chicken.
That metal interview.
Undisputed is the name of the album by the band Blood Red Saints, which you guys have to check out. If you like 80s rock, 80s metal, 80s rock and roll, this is for you, man. Just as it is for me. And by the way, my name is James. Thank you guys for supporting. Thank you guys for your continued support on our podcast, That Metal Interview. Thank you for sharing, downloading, subscribing, blah, blah, blah. You know what to do. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you. And so we speak to these great gentlemen. 3 members of Blood Red Saints speak to us and accompany us on this interview. We have Pete Godfrey, Lee Revill, Rob Nayor on the bass. So we got a couple of Blood Red Saints with us. So anyways, and they actually interviewed me for a little bit there. So that's pretty cool, actually. I've never been interviewed like that, so cool. So anyways, before we continue to the interview, let's spin a badass rock ballad / rock song by this awesome band, man, Blood Red Saints. Let's check out the song Breathe Again. We'll be right back.
They say life goes
Tremendous composition there by the great band from England, Blood Red Saints. Check it out, man, one more time. Album entitled Undisputed is the name of the album, Blood Red Saints. Check it out, man. Frontiers Music. Here's our interview with Pete, Lee, and Rob. Enjoy. How are things over there with the pandemic?
Well, it's one of those. You've got Lee here, you've got Pete here, you've got Rob here. It's pretty much probably what you see in the news. Same as over there. Slowly but surely getting back to normal, hopefully.
Yeah, it's just a strange situation, huh?
Been the weirdest year and a half ever, hasn't it?
So congrats on your new album, Undisputed. 11 great tracks. Talk to us about this album, the making of it, who wrote the stuff, how do you guys go about that, the writing process?
Go on, Lee.
Okay. Well, thanks very much for that. Basically, it's like I suppose most bands do the same thing, especially the last couple of years, because you sort of kind of been stuck in. So I start the process probably with rough ideas. I send them over to Pete. Pete then works some sort of magic on them. Suddenly they start getting bounced around. And then we just started to hit, probably January we started. We got about 4 or 5 songs in, started to like what we were hearing. So then we started to take it a bit more serious and start to finish the tracks then. And then we got to sort of 11, 12 tracks, 13 probably we picked from.
Yeah.
And then pretty much that's how it works. So I bounce them around to Pete, and then he sort of chucks them back, says change this, do this, and then we sort of work it to the end.
So was this in person, or was this email?
Yeah, it's like via drop. The modern guy, I've got a studio here, and Pete's got one in his house. So
I don't know whether did you have lockdowns in America where
Yes.
you weren't allowed out and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we sort of had it pretty much for about 10 months, didn't we?
Yeah.
And let's be honest, James, we did break lockdown a few times just to get together, you know. But mainly it was done through Dropbox links and stuff like that. But yeah, we did sort of. We in the UK we had bubbles, so we all pretended we were in the same bubble. It was that sort of scene a lot of the time.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, huh? That's cool.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
All for rock and roll.
Well, yeah.
Let's try and keep it alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's cool. So would you say Undisputed is a continuation of your last album, Pulse, or would you say you guys took a different approach on this?
To be honest with you, to be fair, we actually just wanted to write a really good melodic rock album.
Nice.
So it's kind of easier in a way because we weren't trying to change the world. Whereas with Pulse, we thought we were changing the world by being a little bit different than sort of from Speedway upwards. And then when we did it, we kind of thought we think we've moved a mile and we've probably moved about a centimetre. So it was this time, it was going to be a melodic rock album, and pretty much that was how it went, weren't it? We just kept the same line.
Yeah, and Rob's the proper melodic rock fan in the band, and he kept banging on about us doing a melodic rock album again. So we sort of gave it. We did, to be honest, to be fair, James, the first song that we wrote was Heaven in the Headlights, and we were like, oh, it's melodic rock again.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Lee were trying to be Shinedown for the last 18 months. Right? But nobody got it. You know, it was just one of them, why have you changed? Why are you not doing sort of like Bon Jovi stroke Def Leppard?
Yeah.
So Rob kept banging on about doing what we're fingers in the air good at. And we did pretty much the sequel to Speedway, I reckon it is, going back to the first album.
Nice. I heard, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, it seemed to have worked.
Oh, yeah. I'm a huge 80s fanatic, a huge 80s rock fanatic, that is, and I heard Heaven...
Here as well.
Yeah, so...
Best era, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were lucky we had Van Halen at our youth.
So did you guys want to sound like that, or is that Rob's idea, or... Because it sounds badass to me. I'm an 80s fanatic, and it sounds...
It's just where,
it takes you
where
back.
we're from, I think. It's like people have always accused us of saying like, oh, it sounds so 80s. It's like Pete always says, we are from the 80s. So,
Right.
you know, all our influences are the same as the 80s. They're the same as Def Leppard. They're the same as Winger. So it's no real surprise that we end up sounding a little bit like that. It's just all our influences. That's where they're from. So I don't think it's something that we really go out of our way to do. It's just what we do.
Just seem more comfortable with how it turned out because it seemed more natural to do it. That's probably the best way. It just seemed to come. Each song seemed to take on its own sort of life, and you sort of go, okay, that's sounding good. We'll just leave it. So we just let it roll instead of trying to change it too drastically. And the reception we've had is really good. So obviously, by not messing and trying to change it too much, it worked out okay.
As a fanatic, as a rock fanatic, it takes me back to that time in life, because I'm also an 80s person, and to us fans, you guys did a great job, and congrats on that. That's awesome style you got there. It's like a new.
Thank you very much. Brilliant.
It's like a new 80s kind of.
That's where we're from anyway, James. Definitely 80s rock fans, definitely.
So who chose?
If you keep saying nice things, we might have to come over and buy you a pint in Texas.
Okay, so who chose the name Blood Red Saints, and what's the meaning behind the name?
So you're doing it.
It's an awkward one because we came up with the name. We were bandying names around a lot, and it was a name that we just really liked. So we decided to create a backstory. We completely made it up about the Speedway team. People seem to take us very seriously about it though, and it sort of took on a life of its own, and it went a bit too far in some respects. That was all it was. It was a name that we all really liked. We created a backstory about the Speedway riders and the Brooklyn and the American side of it, and it just seemed to take off, and we found ourselves down a little bit of an alley really with it. Eventually we had to say we made it up. We made it up.
And we were that convincing. I'll let Pete tell this story, but you've got time, haven't you? You've got a bit of time here, James.
Of course, sure, of course.
Yeah. So I'll let Pete tell you a little story of what happened when he got a phone call.
So do you have Speedway? I know there's a lot of American Speedway riders, but they all seem to ride in Europe. But people like Greg Hancock and stuff like that. Do you know Speedway, or is Speedway cars to you?
Of course.
Right. So we brought the album out Speedway, and we made this story up about it being a Speedway team from Brooklyn in the 1920s. It was completely made up. And after the album came out, about 3 or 4 weeks after the album came out, I got this phone call off a guy, and he wrote for a magazine called Speedway Star, and that's sort of like the main magazine for Speedway in Europe. So it's sort of quite a big deal. And he came on, and he said, I've written quite a few books about Speedway riders from America, and I've tried to research the Blood Red Saints. He said, but I'm not finding anything, right? So I was like, you're not going to do, mate. So he's like, why is that? So I'm like, because we made it all up, right? It was just all fiction.
It's mortified.
Right? So he was horrified because he literally had put in all the groundwork. But we got a 2-page spread in a Speedway magazine.
It was brilliant publicity.
And then the next thing is, a few months after that, where we live in Manchester, we used to have this team called Bellevue Aces that was quite a big Speedway team in England. And they built a new stadium. And I got a phone call off the guys there asking me to go and be the sound guy for the Speedway track, which was the National Speedway team, National Speedway Stadium. I didn't have a clue, but it was all because it was all because we called the band Blood Red Saints and said it was a Speedway team.
Wow! Oh wow! What a story!
Yeah.
That's so cool. Wow! I did not know that.
There you go. You learn something new every day.
Well, we tried to keep it secret for a while. We tried to keep it going as if it was real, but
This
in the
damn
end,
internet, eh? Damn internet.
Yeah, so that's we're more successful in Speedway than we are in music.
So take us back in time, us fanatics, rock fanatics. For people that don't know, talk to us how all of you guys started in the music business. What was the first professional act, if you will?
Go on, Rob.
the first professional act that you were in, that you did. I was in a band back in the 80s called Sam Thunder, and I also played a one-off gig for Lee Aaron once at the Marquee in London. And then was in a band called AOK. Back in the 80s, we did a few decent support gigs with Dare and Danger, and then didn't do anything for 20 years before I got back together with these guys. We just decided to Well, everybody else was getting back together, weren't they?
Yeah.
Rob's only 35.
I was 10 back in the 80s.
In his mind, James. In his mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's the same for us all. We had moderate success back in the 80s, but nothing really, bizarrely, nothing like we've got now, really. You know what I mean?
Oh, to go back 25 years, James, and release this album.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but
Go on, Lee.
what did you do?
So, probably the first thing I did would have been Gary Hughes. I don't know whether you've heard of him. I've done. I started off doing a few tours in Norway, and then did Hamburg, Holland, and then ended up doing the MTV Headbangers Ball in 92, 93, something like that.
Nice.
And so then from there, I had a break of 10 years, and then I sort of got back writing again, and it's like you hit the ground running, as they say.
And I never did anything. I played in useless little pub bands, and then started doing cabaret, doing everybody else's songs for about 10 years. And I'd never recorded, never done any sort of significant gigs or anything. And then, like Rob said, it was just seemed like the right time. It was easier this time, older, wiser, and there was more technology, and it was easier to do. But that's pretty much the sum total of why we do it, nowadays.
Nice. Everyone has their own background and their own history. Yeah, that's cool.
Do you play an instrument, James?
I do. Actually, I'm a musician too. I play guitar, bass, drums. Local musicians.
Oh,
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So you know how the scene works, don't you? How easy or hard it is, and thankless sometimes, but you still do it for the love of it, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I don't have fans. You guys have fans.
We've only got two.
Yeah. Well, you can fan as well, James.
I'm your third fan, I guess.
Thank you. Can we have that in writing, please?
Yeah. So who are your influences and who are your heroes?
Go on, you start.
Me.
Yeah.
I'll go first. First band that made me get into rock was Kiss.
Awesome.
And then from Kiss, it was Bon Jovi, Van Halen, Winger, that sort of stuff. But Kiss was the one, just for the image, just absolutely blew my mind in
Nice.
1979.
Awesome.
Go on, Rob. Go on with your.
I just think it's probably the same as Pete's, really. Van Halen, although a lot of American bands throw in a bit of Thin Lizzy, throw in a bit of Queen, and it's probably where we're at, yeah. So similar, we've all got similar influences. We might always have one favourite band, like Pete likes Kiss and we don't.
Yeah.
But I mean, somebody's got to like them, haven't they? But mainly Winger, yeah, the American bands, Warrant, Giant, all that kind of era. So,
Awesome.
yeah, I love all of them, yeah.
I mean, from an early age, as a guitarist, slightly differs to what my favourite. I mean, I loved Journey. I love all the. Bon Jovi is probably my favourite
Awesome.
80s band. Said which one it'd be. But as guitarists, you kind of have different angles. So mine was Randy Rhoads, Gary Moore. I loved George Lynch, Dan Huff. But then as a band, I absolutely adore. See, I'm a secret Nickelback fan.
Nice.
I adore them now. They're the band now that I look at and go, yeah, I'd like that band. But back in the day, it was definitely Bon Jovi.
Awesome stuff. Yeah. Awesome
Yours?
picks.
Who were your?
Come on, you got to tell us yours.
Who were your influences?
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh man, I have a wide range of. I listen to anything from rock to metal to 80s rock to death metal to.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
if I said you take one guitarist, who would it be?
One guitarist. Oh man. Now you guys are interviewing me now. Oh wow! I might have to say.
Which one? Any genre? Which one?
Rhythm wise, I look up to James Hetfield.
Okay.
Lead wise, oh man, there's just so many out there. I mean, I don't have a favorite. I just Randy Rhoads for sure, and I really like Kirk Hammett, Mustaine for their innovation. Bringing up that thrash scene, all those leads.
Longevity as well.
Yeah, so there's so many out there, and then there's the technical ones like Malmsteen and Skolnick.
Yeah, cool.
You got Richie
Thank you for
Sambor.
that.
Yeah. Thank you
You
for
won't
the.
ask that one again, will you?
Thank you for interviewing me. My first interview.
Anytime.
Right, you can go back to yours now. Sorry.
So are you guys playing live? You guys playing live already or not yet?
Well, we've got our first one from 2 years ago. Is it now? Since it lockdown sort of thing. Is it 2 years? 18?
Yeah. The last time we played was March the 9th, 2020.
Yeah.
And then obviously all concerts stopped. And the next one we've got now is the end of August.
Yeah.
But we've not been able to book anything because every time anybody books anything, it gets postponed and put over to next year. So we just thought we'd wait until everything was back, if it ever goes back to normal, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
We are in rehearsals though, so
Yeah.
we're trying to get ready and see what comes. We've got also, like, they do a festival over here called Hard Rock Hell, and it's themed on the AOR genre, and that's in November. I can't remember who else is on. Who else is playing at
There's
that?
quite a few, but some might be pulling out.
I
Yeah.
can't remember.
Some
No,
might be
I
pulling
can't
out.
remember, but it's a good little festival, so
It's like a 3-day thing.
we're getting ready for that as well. But apart from that, at the moment, we've got just two gigs properly booked. So
Nice.
looking forward to it, getting up there again. But yeah, not many.
Give us your best gig and give us your worst gig so far.
As a band.
Sure, or each one of you, whichever you prefer.
All right. Okay. So
Well, my favourite gig, we played straight after we signed for Frontiers. We got to play at the Frontiers Festival in
Milan.
Yeah, and that was got to have been the biggest stage I've ever played on. And the guys laugh about it because at one point we were playing, and I was just wandering around backstage, just like amazed at the size of the place.
He really was.
He was doing that. Yeah.
Like looking up at the roof, and you going, "We're actually playing it."
We're actually playing it, so yeah, that was probably the best. And we recently played in Germany at the Heat Festival as well, which was a great, really well organised gig, and they looked after us, and the crowd was fantastic. So that was probably the best. Don't know about the worst. We've done really well, actually.
Yeah.
We haven't had any disasters or well, Lee
Lee has. You've been a guitarist, will know this one. Lee has disasters.
Defend me here, James. Defend me here, James.
Lee has guitar disasters every time. If something can stop working, it will stop working.
Or someone kicks your amp out.
You know, walks past and pulls a plug lead out or something. But we just soldier on. You know, we're used to it now. It's
People expect it now as part of the goddamn show.
Yeah,
they think it is part of the show. To be fair, don't
So
they?
go on, what's your favourite then? What's your favourite?
yeah, probably Milan with. So it was with the Defiance, and it was Inglorious, and who else was on? There was a lot of bands, and it was in Italy. And
First time we played abroad. wasn't
yeah,
it?
the best part of it all was we got picked up from the airport, and the guy literally had one of them signs that says Blood Red Saints, and we were like thinking we'd made it. And then we got on this coach, and we were waiting for everybody else to get on the coach, and only 5 of us were on the coach, and we, honest to God,
Thought we were picking everybody else up.
Yeah, we thought we was just on a general coach, and it was our coach, and that was like, we'd made it. We haven't, but we thought we.
And he's going to have to follow that story on by probably the greatest night of his Friday night of that sort of weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine this.
So on the night before the festival started, they had a VIP night, and Kit Winger was doing this acoustic thing, and I was telling these that I wanted to sing with him, and then he asked if anybody wanted to sing, so I got volunteered to sing Miles Away with him, which was one of them bucket list things.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's on YouTube if you ever want to check it out.
Yeah.
Oh, check it out. Wow. I'm a winger.
Yeah, so that was good.
Awesome.
That was the best weekend we've ever had, being honest.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Following up with that, I've got probably 2. One of them, strange enough, we weren't playing Hard Rock Hell the last time, and we got a phone call to see if we'd stand in just on a tea time, 5 o'clock, and that ended up being a really good gig. We actually dragged everybody out of the main room into this side room, and it was packed. But we played well. It all went well. My gear didn't break. I didn't snap a string. My amp didn't blow up. So all them things were really good. So that was a good gig. The other one, I must admit, playing with Kevin Chalfont was quite cool.
Oh yeah, you did that.
Yeah, that was at Rockingham. There's a festival called Rockingham in Nottingham, I think it is. And that was a really cool gig for me because we played as well. So we played, and then ended up headlining the show with the guy who used to sing with Journey. So that was really cool.
Very cool. Wow. Very, very cool stories there. Cool. So you guys already answered one of my questions there. What's next for the band? So what can fans expect next? When can we expect you guys in the U.S. or any other country?
Listen, if somebody asked us to come, if somebody asked us to come and play in the US, we'd be there the next day. But
It's a bucket list for us, really.
yeah, we'd play a bar or anything to get to America just to be able to say we've done it. Because, like Rob said before, that's where everything about our musical
That was the lifeblood.
That's what we wanted, you know, to be American bands, really. So if we could get to America, we'd be there in an heartbeat, honestly.
We're just hoping Frontiers decide to start doing tours over there. We'll hold the guitars for every other band to walk on if we can get to play.
It's strange, really, when you think about it. And Americans look at the British and say, like, about the British invasion and the Beatles and the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
And we looked at it differently. We saw Van Halen, didn't we? We saw the American bands that we looked up to. It was strange, really. Motley Crue and Warrant and all those.
Yeah.
And Rat. And these are the bands that we loved from the 80s. So it really changed. We weren't really into the Beatles or the Rolling Stones that much. They weren't influences to us. It was the Van Halens, and it was the Warrants and the Rat.
Oh yeah.
It was all those bands that we really did, and we call it air metal now, don't we?
Yeah, they have different time, but it was the day I saw Bon Jovi live first.
Bon Jovi, of course,
I was like, I just want to do, even if it's not as big a stadium, just to be able to go at that height would have been immense. To play a support would be immense.
Wow.
You know what I mean? You don't even headline. So
I think you can include, Def Leppard. We love Def Leppard, and obviously they're English as well.
Awesome.
But not that many English bands were influenced on us. More the American side of it, definitely.
Yeah.
So the short answer, as soon as we get a chance, we're going to be playing, especially Texas.
If we ever get a chance, we'll do it. There's no doubt. But it's just getting the opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm sure the time will come. You know, I'm sure Frontiers will hear this, and I'll send them this interview. You know, and I'll talk. Maybe we can. You know.
We'd love to.
Definitely.
If you've got a local bar, we'll come and play it. And we'll get you up.
And we know you
Yeah.
have got local bars.
Yeah. Well, I'll be your opener. I'll be the local band.
You're more than welcome. More than welcome.
Awesome. Would you guys want to send a message to your fans listening to this podcast, all the Blood Red Saints fans listening to this? Special message for them.
We can't wait to get back out and play live, basically. Hope you enjoy the album.
Yeah, and we hope that you're already listening to the J-Rock's Metal Show, so you've got good taste. So hopefully you'll like us, and we'll see you somewhere on tour.
And we'd love to see you in Texas, California,
Anywhere in the
New
States.
York, wherever. Yeah, we're open to it. We're up for it.
Yeah, keep it real.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. So thank you guys for making time, and we hope to see you guys in the U.S. and a very, very good job with Undisputed. Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Brilliant. Thanks again for your time, James. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
a lot. Take care.
And that concludes another episode of That Metal Interview, and we'd like to invite you guys to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have a chance. Thank you for liking us on Facebook. Thank you for downloading our podcasts from whichever digital format you guys might use for your convenience, of course. Thank you guys and girls. Appreciate it. Much, much appreciated. Don't forget to tune in to our radio show, jrocksmetalzone.com. It's 24/7, all day rock and metal. So check it out, man. jrocksmetalzone.com. And we got a couple of radio programs on their shows. So we got a classic rock show, Roadie's Classic Rock Show at 5 p.m. Central Time, U.S. Central Time, of course. And then we have a death metal show, amongst other badass shows. So anyways, jrocksmetalzone.com. As far as this podcast, That Metal Interview Podcast, we thank the guys from Blood Red Saints. We thank Pete, Lee, and Rob for accompanying us and talking to us a little bit about their careers and this awesome band that they have now, man. So check it out. Blood Red Saints. You guys have to stream it, download it, or purchase it, Go support the band. Search them online, buy their merchandise and buy their records and all that stuff. So check it out, man. Thank you guys one more time, and don't forget to keep it metal.
That metal interview.